Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co-host, Spaz.
Brought to you, as always, by Not Enough Caffeine.
Never enough. Never enough. It is 6 o'clock in the morning where Spaz and I are because our guest today is in London, as they say in Hot Fuzz. Ever since Hot Fuzz, that's the only way I hear it in my head now, is... someone from London called for you. It's the only way I hear it now. Joining us is Robert Hesketh. Did I say that right? Was I close?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Owner of Hesketh Studios, here to talk about Executive Assault 2. Welcome, Robert.
It's like nice to be here.
And we are happy to have you because... when I found out that your next game was going to be a space game, my ears immediately perked up because I'm going to be honest right now. As you know, I never played your first game, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I was always intrigued by it. So let's start there. The first Executive Assault was more of a traditional ground-based RTS with the added twist of being able to jump into one of many of your units first person and control them individually, which has been done here and there, but like with varying degrees of success. Like there was Natural Selection, and there was Savage, the Savage games. So
Nuclear Dawn was sort of in that vein.
Yeah.
With that mix of RTS and FPS.
Right. So, but your game is a little different because you're also a unit on the field because you're a CEO. So you also have an avatar that can be killed, assassinated, which is really neat. So where did the impetus for the first game come from? And then we're going to talk about how that jumped into space for the second.
I think at the time I was getting a bit sort of fed up of, the bigger game companies not really making interesting games. It was always like, I don't know, Call of Duty 12 or, it was just one sort of sequel after another. And, they weren't making anything more exciting or, something that maybe people just wanted to try. And I love RTS games, and I've always wanted an RTS game where you could sort of structures too and walk around them, and also like get in the tanks, because it's funny whenever you see like sort of RTS games, usually the cutscene is on the ground. It's always an amazing cutscene of you sort of like on the ground watching all the battle going on, but when you actually play the game, you're sort of stuck up high, sort of controlling units around. And I just thought, well, why not make a game where you are actually down on the ground and actually in the combat, being able to look up to see your aircraft fly over and and shoot things. And that's where the idea for that one really came from. And like I was saying, like I loved Battlezone 2. That had a kind of like a sort of similar sort of like idea, that one.
Yes.
And, I think that one sort of inspired me. And then I love some of the big games like Total Annihilation and Supreme Commander and those sorts of ones with the big robots and things. So I just wanted to be down there on the ground and see the big robots walking past you. That's certainly the inspiration for it.
So I did play a little bit of the first one last night after snagging it this weekend, and like I was just able to do some robot on robot combat. But wow, like for a game that mixes two different styles, they both feel like they don't feel like half-assed. You know what I mean? Like some games when they try and do two different things like this, each half feels half-assed. And like the first-person combat felt really fluid. It felt great, and the RTS stuff felt like RTS stuff. So I have to ask: is this kind of stuff must be hard to do? This kind of two different perspective thing, because hardly anyone else does it. So is it as hard as I think it probably is to do?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. It's mainly mainly getting the computer, like the AI, like the sort of pathfinding and navigation around the map. It was probably the most difficult part because at the time Unity was still, I don't know, I think it was version 4.5, something like that before I started, and it was their navigation system was just going, and I had to buy in some external navigation system, but mainly the navigation system was the problem because I couldn't have a massive map and being able to pathfind through, get all the units to run through the buildings at the same time. That was probably the most difficult thing. And also level of detail too, because there was, when you're down there on the ground, it gets a bit, you have to have a really, really good detail down there too, whereas in any RTS game, if you try and if you were to be able to zoom in close to the units, they wouldn't look very detailed at all. So mainly just trying to get graphics working down at that level and at the top level was the most difficult thing. And and also because you could walk around inside the buildings, most RTS games, you make a unit or a tank and it just pops out the thing. But if you're going inside the building, you actually have to see the unit being manufactured. So I wanted to add that sort of detail in the buildings too. So yeah, they were the main things.
Yeah,
that's totally fair.
Yeah, I must say I noticed that in the second one when I walked to the I think it was the shipyard, and I noticed one of the fighters being built. I was like, holy crap. I'd never really seen that before in the new one, in the second one. So that was wonderful. Because for space games, that's kind of the holy grail is like, I want to walk around my ship. That's what everyone wants. I want to walk around my ship. I want to walk around my station. I want to do it all.
Well, I just like that sort of level of detail. It's just effort really, just to put that detail in.
Right.
You just put it in. You get the robot factory with all little arms all moving around making a thing. It doesn't take long. It's just a bit of time and effort that you're putting your head into it, and then it just works. I mean, modern computers these days can handle that sort of detail with no problem.
And I have to say, even on my older, I'm currently rocking a pretty old computer here. The new one even ran really well, even in its early form, with all that detail. So well done. That was really impressive.
It's good. It's good with Unity too. Unity's been designed really well to cater for all systems, so they've done a good job there too. So I can't take all the credit for it running on a good
that's
computer.
totally fair, but that's totally fair. But at the same time, you've put so much detail into this, and I've seen other Unity games bog down my machine. So
I guess so, yeah.
You can't put all the credit on Unity. So I guess the first game did well enough to warrant a sequel, which is great. Another question about the first one before we move on to the second. Does it have like a campaign, or is it just a series of skirmishes?
Series of skirmishes.
Okay.
And multiplayer. So you just play against your friends and things.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because usually with a lot of RTS games, and this is a problem with a lot of RTS games, which is kind of why I think they're fewer and fewer, is you kind of have to make, and Tom Chick has said this, you kind of have to make 3 games. You have to make a campaign, you have to make a skirmish mode against the AI, and you have to make multiplayer. And that's a lot. So So when I started the first one, my brain expected a campaign, and because it wasn't, it was like, huh? What? But that's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just I was thrown a little bit. But I was really impressed by...
It's great for what it is.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the detail of the first one. And I got to wonder, let's jump to the second one now, is because you didn't want to do all that ground detail the reason you went into space?
I think it was just a natural progression. I think everyone loves space games, and I wanted to do something that was, more. Yeah, I love space games too, and I just really wanted to just go up there into space, and I think it's worked really well.
And I have to say, folks, there's a preview video of the game on the YouTube channel if you haven't seen it already. Even someone who, like me, who didn't come from the first game, and this new game has a bit of a manual. One thing I was really impressed by is that just about everything was so clear. It was just so easy to get going. Like, okay. I did not. I mean, I do play a lot of these games, sure, but every game is different. Some games have their little wrinkles, that you have to learn. But with your game, it was like, oh, this does this, and this builds this, and I need to do this to do this. And it was just, for the most part, it was very fluid. It felt very natural. It kind of felt like, have you ever played Conquest Frontier Wars?
It's a good classic RTS.
I like that game.
What was that?
I like that game. It's a fun one.
It kind of, the different sector jumping thing reminded me of that a little bit, which is always a good thing. But yeah, so folks, the new game, Executive Assault 2, does take place in space. You're building factories. You're basically the CEO of a company, and you're building a factory. You're building bases. Is right now the goal? There's one goal in the game, and that's to assassinate the other CEO, which I think is hilarious. Not just destroy their bases, but go in there and kill that one guy.
Yeah. It's everyone found that really fun in the first game because. I don't know how far you got, but in the first one, you were sort of on top of the office, and there were 2 lifts either side, and it actually created quite a lot of tension when you could hear like the alarm going off and the lift coming up, and you're trying to call the other lift by pressing the button lots, and it's like trying to get out the office before they come and assassinate you. So I've been trying to create that sort of tension in the first one too, in the second one too, with the sort of force field system as well. So it's tricky, but I will see how it goes.
Yeah, so are there going to be other objectives, though, besides just killing the other CEO? Do you have other objectives for the game planned?
Yeah, so ultimately this one, I am looking at having a campaign in there. And I don't know if you ever played the game Space Colony.
Yeah. Love that game.
In their campaign, they basically had like a planet. You did all the missions on the planet, and then you moved to the next planet, and you had another sort of set there. And that's the kind of mission campaign I'm looking at doing in this one. So I'm building this sort of modular conditions systems, so that one of the conditions is kill the CEO. The other one is like, I don't know, sell 100 goods. One of them could be like capture an outpost or something, and then I'd be able to make campaigns that way, and then hopefully bring a few of them into the skirmish thing. So you can have an economic victory. So like the first CEO to sell like 100 of their goods or something like that to win.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing about this game is that you have just independent traders flying around and you can trade with them, but so apparently can your enemies.
And you can decide and name any goods you want. You can sell basically whatever goods you fancy in the game, and it's the same with the company. You can name your company what you want. You can have your own company logo, and I don't see the point limiting people as to what they want to, naming things, because people are just going to name things very, very stupid and silly things. But there we go. That's kind of the fun. As long as they're enjoying it, that's the main thing.
Spaz, question: do you remember the name of the company that Jake and Nog made in that one D Space Nine episode? Was it J-Nog Consortium or something like that?
It was indeed, yes. Okay,
so if we when we play this game in co-op, that's the name of our company. And we're going to be selling Yamek sauce.
There you go.
We are totally doing that.
Or just baseball cards, because that's,
baseball cards.
Yeah. There you go. I think my company sells space kittens.
Now, I do want to ask you if you can also add. I don't know how hard this will be, but if you can also allow us to add a company logo, like like a quote. So we can add "the river will provide." Oh, great!
If you go in the game, if you go down to the goods manufacturing area, you see like a conveyor belt, and when you see your goods going past, you'll see the company logo and the little goods written on the side. So,
no, I'm talking about like a tagline. Can we add a tagline as well, like if we want to?
Company slogan,
like a slogan. Yes.
Oh, I see. Oh no, I haven't added that yet. I haven't got a slogan yet. Maybe you can put it on the logo. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That the first game, because I noticed people started signing off their forum posts with the company that they had sort of set up in the first game with some goods, and I thought that's actually a really nice idea. That's so really I thought I'd put that in the second one.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, last Shogun in our Discord chat said he wants to sell pride and accomplishment.
There you go.
With his company as EA.
Oh no. Well done. Well, oh,
Do what you at, and by sell I mean murder anyone else.
yes,
So, there's that.
that's a bird. That's a bird right there.
Well, I see some people said, won't you get into trouble if someone does something like that in your game? And I say, well, I'm just giving people tools. If people start posting pictures of these to the forums, and that's the forums moderation that should be taking control. I mean, otherwise you might as well just ban, I don't know, Minecraft or Photoshop for, like, I don't know, because you can make all these things in there. So it's not down to the game to cause the problems. It's people who actually write these things,
Well, it is down to player created content versus what's baked into the game.
Because I think I had one of the people use their company logos as I don't know, someone had like a swastika as one of the logos and posted it on Steam, and I was thinking, well, that's really for Steam to moderate, not for me. So
I mean,
did your due diligence by stating, you should be careful about what icon you add because it might be offensive to others, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
You've done your due diligence.
Yeah, I got that text at the bottom, and if when you're playing a multiplayer game, someone has got a offensive slogan or logo, you can just press a button and it just hides it, so you can get
nice. That's really great. Yeah, you can tell by that sentence plus the gameplay. You've put a lot of thought into usability.
I mean, I really, it's a deep game, and I want people to just get into it. I mean, there's, get really sort of find their way into it. But I don't want people to explain. I don't want to explain too much into the game, because I think a lot of people just like discovery too and finding out things.
Right. So, like, you want like a tutorial or a manual to cover the basics, but maybe other people can make strategy guides if they want to. On the Steam community,
I think tutorials is like, you can go too far, and it's like you're telling you, W for forward, S for backwards, or you can, I mean, if you ever played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, the tutorial on that was just taking the mix out of it. So
amazing.
You don't want to go. I love that, but at the same time, you don't want to just sort of throw people in at the deep end. I mean, I remember Minecraft when it first came out was pretty much you just appeared and you're like, what do I do? And you start hitting the ground, and it's like, oh, okay, and I got a chunk of grass, and then it's like, then you had to sort of slowly go from there. But it's it's something in between.
Now, one thing I found fascinating was the procedural generation. Like, I tried like 3 different games, 3 different sessions of EA2, and each map was way different in like how the sectors were laid out, what was in them. And I also like how there are environmental hazards as well.
Yeah, well, it's a big thing with space games, I would say. I mean, space literally means nothing. You have to fill it with content, and so environmental hazards seem like a really good way of like helping to break up the sort of gameplay. When you're attacking and you think you got the upper hand, the next thing you got asteroids crashing into your space station. So it really helps with the interest. And I think you encountered an ion storm in one of your games.
I did, yes. On the video, there's an ion storm. It's very pretty, by the way.
Yeah, it looks quite cool, especially if you stand on the bridge and watch it fly past. And
I didn't think to do that. Oh, damn it! I didn't think to do that.
I had a big space combat in it once, and that looked quite fun. There's also, I've added bugs like they're called little infestors. They're like little slug creatures, and they sometimes traders accidentally drop them off on your space station. You have to try and kill them.
Kind of like tribbles, but not as cute. And
definitely not spiders. I don't know what it is with space games at the moment. Every space game at the moment has to have spiders in it. And I'm like, no spiders. I'm fed up with spiders in games.
Thank you so much. I hate spiders. They freak me the fuck out, and so I'm really happy there won't be spiders. Thank you.
I mean, I think there's that game coming out called Satisfactory, and they've got them in there, but he's put a button to actually remove them because apparently the developer hates them too. And I was thinking, well, why did you put them in there then?
Probably
because some people love being scared by spiders, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, but in a space game, the imagination runs wild. You could have any creature, really.
Exactly. So one thing, I do have to ask a question about the game itself. I could not figure out how to repair your own facilities. Like, because something
I
got
noticed half your space station was on fire.
What was that?
I noticed half your space station was on fire.
Yeah, I didn't know how to stop that. I had no idea how to stop that. So how do you
It's
fix
like a little. Each facility has like a little control panel in there. It's like a black display. I'm going to put a little light on top of it, so you can see them. And when you walk up to it, there's a repair button in there. So
Oh, so you have to run down to the facilities themselves to do it.
yeah, I don't
Oh,
know how that'll work. Some people might just not want to do that and just want to do it straight from the RTS screen. But currently, the only way to do it is to actually run down there. You can like take over a robot in your space station and do it that way rather than getting
oh, I didn't know that
exiting
either.
CO mode. So
I didn't know that
there's,
either.
there's,
So that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
I might have to write a strategy guide for this.
No, that actually might be a good. That might be actually a good middle ground. Like if you don't want, if you want, if you want to give people the option to do it quickly, have them take over a robot in the area and fix it that way. If you don't want them to do everything from the RTS interface, if you want to make it a little more direct, and that would actually add tension. Like, oh my god, my thing's on fire! I got to get down there and fix it before it blows up. And you can't do it. That's the thing. You can't do everything from one place. So you got to take control of a robot and run down there, like the closest robot. You find the closest robot and you run down there, and you do it just in time. That actually, I think, might work better than do it, because if you do everything from one interface, that might be a bit cluttered. That might be a bit overwhelming. So I kind of like the segregation. I kind of like that.
And yeah, I mean, with the testing, some people found that too many controls were in first person, and it was just getting a bit sort of overwhelming, like trying to do things. So I've moved some of the controls back, but this is one of the big features of the game. Will be this execution mode, where I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's basically a cooperative with your friends. So you've got one person as the CEO, and then other people can join your company in multiplayer as an executron, and they just play the game in almost like a pure FPS mode, running around the space station, doing all the chores that the CEO can't do or hasn't got time for.
Right, but I'm guessing in single player, what you can do is assume control of one of those things and then do your thing and then exit direct control. That might be a good, like I'm saying, that might be a good middle ground between putting everything on the RTS interface.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another option might be to have a module that you can build that, say, has 2 repair robots that just patrol around and try to do repairs, but it does cost power in order to have them active. So you'll have to either turn the whole facility on or off as needed.
Oh, I love it.
Of course, if you forget to turn it on, then you won't have people running around repairing.
That sounds good.
I kind of love it. Yeah. That kind of makes it almost like Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you have to hire the handymen and have them go around and fix and make sure stuff is fixed.
Oh, that sounds good. I mean, the game has about 60 technologies at the moment, but I want to bring it up to like over 100. So it's that's certainly something that could be added.
There's one. I dig that one. So yeah, until you research that thing, you have to repair everything yourself, and then once
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, Spaz. That's a great freaking idea.
I was a little bit inspired by Pulsar and having the AI run around and do the repairs while you are, say, piloting the ship.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, speaking of piloting, I wanted to ask about the space combat, which is so far kind of first-person freelancery, and then it follows the mouse cursor, which I really like. But I was having trouble finding and targeting targets. Is that in right now, or is that coming? Like, because there didn't seem to be a targeting system.
I was using Battlefront 2 as my basis for. I'm not talking the new one. I'm talking the original Battlefront 2.
Yeah, we love the original Battlefront 2. We love it around here. So yeah,
I was using that as my sort of basis for like space combat for the game, because it was kind of, it's arcadey but sort of fun. It's just you're just flying around shooting things, and that was for the flight dynamics. But no, I think you're right with the targeting. I mean, it's got that little swirl of dots in the middle, but I I think either I need like little arrows on the outside of the screen showing you where someone is, or like a targeting system or something, just to make it a bit easier so you know where.
Yeah, just that's all I need is like the kind of arrow, follow the arrow thing. Oh, if they're outside, oh there they are. Have a crosshair on them when they're in your field of view, so they're easier to spot, and so I can select specific targets. I don't want anything super complicated like Free Space 2 with an escort list and blah blah blah, but yeah, just maybe like a target, like closest target. I think that's really all I need. I don't need like sub targeting or anything, just closest.
That sounds fine.
Yeah, because I'm really enjoying the space combat. It was really great, but I'm like, I can't figure out where everybody is. Like, oh, there they are. They're over there. Oh, wait, they're gone now. Okay. Oh, there they are. So it was a little bit frustrating. But I also like how you can take over other ships. Like you can take over a troop transport, which I thought was neat.
It was something. So people, you couldn't do that in the first game. Take over the troop transport. So I really wanted it in the second one as well.
Yeah, and you can also take over. Sorry, go ahead.
Say the last time I tested it, I think I was the pilot, and in multiplayer my brother was standing in the back, and it was almost like a washing machine in the back there, because I was trying to do like loop the loops dodging fighters, and he was being flung around the back of the thing. So
that sounds amazing. Yeah. That sounds so amazing. This is gonna have the best multiplayer. Oh my god, this is gonna have the best multiplayer. Oh god. But, go ahead.
One of the things I haven't seen in any game before is when you're the CEO and you do have these executrons running around the space station, I've added a PA system to the space station. So you press it's like a supermarket. You press a button, you say your announcement, and then over the tannoy system on the space station, you hear this sort of bing bong, and then you hear what you just said to the thing. So I had my brother running around in the space station, and then I did it, and all he heard was bing bong. And it's like, "Will you get your butt over the goddamn facility quickly?"
Oh, that's amazing!
Excellent.
Oh my god, that's going to be so great. Oh my god. We have a question from YouTube. Will there be an ability to directly board a docked ship on a station while in first person and then take off with it?
Yeah, you can. You will. No, if it's not your ship, you can't. Currently, you can't hijack other ships at the moment. So
okay.
But they are.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, when they do dock, you can sort of run on board it. I have noticed some people walk on board the computer's one when it's docked, run on there, wait there, and then the computer undocks and then flies off with you inside the thing, and then docks with his space station, and then you can kind of surreptitiously board the other person's space station.
Oh, I love that. Oh, please keep that in. That sounds amazing. But I think the question kind of had also related to the troop transport. Like if you're one of the troops, can you run back and forth between your docked troop transport and the station? And it sounds like you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I gotta say, you're building something special here, dude. Really building something that I think a lot of people. Oh,
especially on this server.
Especially here. And Xeno now wants to know, the Xeno Gamer over on YouTube, will there be a way to board enemy ships? Like, is that going to be a thing that you're planning? Like Battlefront 2 style, he's saying. Because
I think I looked into it, and I noticed you discovered that you could walk around the ship when you were on the thing. I don't know, really. I think you've got this massive space battle going on. You're trying to manage the space station. There's so much going on. And then to add troop boarding of spaceships, I think was just going a bit sort of too much. I mean, if I was to do it, it would probably be an expansion or DLC, something later on down the pipeline. So, taking control of one big spaceship by sort of breaching the thing. I think that would be maybe further on, needs a bit more sort of thought and development. But for now, you won't have that. But there's about 1,000 other things you can do in the game. So
yeah, no, that's totally fair. But yeah, like one of the neat things about Battlefront 2 was when you had these big space battles, one of the goals was to jump into an enemy cruiser and sabotage it from the inside. And I think that's what they're. I think that's what they're talking.
You can do that with the space station. You can do all that with the space station. So I think you get all.
Oh, so you still have that. It's just with a space station, not with like a big cruiser or something. Okay, so
Yeah.
you still have that.
Yeah.
That's cool. But it sounds like if you want, like maybe you'll add big ships later that you can do that with as well, like battle cruisers and stuff like that. That you can do that as well, maybe later.
Oh yeah, no, you can dock your troop transport on the space station. It's the you can actually blow up the space station with just starships, but it does take a while. It's much better to dock your troop transport with the space station, unload your troops, and then just try and assassinate the CEO by running to the bridge, and dodging all the other troops on board and the internal defenses and doors and security systems on there. But that's still the faster way of doing it. And one of the things I added, which was is called I've added a transporter to the game. So because it was getting a bit laborious building a troop transporter, sending it over, sending your troops, then they may all die, and then having to do that all again. Your troop transporter comes with something called a Teletron, which is like a little robot-y thing, and you kind of run that off onto the space station, hide it somewhere, and then what you can then do on your space station, once it's deployed, you can then beam your troops straight over to the enemy space station, and it's almost like a sort of it's like a sort of spawn point you're making, and then you can just keep beaming your troops over till the Teletron's been destroyed.
Oh, that's great. That is so great. So
you just have to find a good place to hide it.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it's pretty strong as well, so it's not an easy thing to try and take out as well.
So Xenogamer would like to know which ships types there are in the game. There are quite a few I saw so far. There are corvettes and frigates and troop transports and fighters and not colony ships, but like the ships you use to take over a system. What are they called? Outpost ships.
Yeah.
There are like 3 different types of those. So it seems like there are almost a dozen so far of just different types. Does that sound about right?
I mean, in the game, it's more about sort of the ship's sort of hull. So the bigger the ship, the more weapons and the higher the health on it. So the ships don't necessarily have like a traditional, like, missile ship or laser ship. You sort of kit them out how you want. So but yeah, there are like there's corvettes, frigates, cruisers, battleships, and there's the biggest one in the game, which is the monolith, but that's a whole different ship, that one.
Ooh, a monolith.
So that's taking from the first game where you have the design menu for say your robots. Once you've unlocked newer technologies, you can decide what you want to outfit them with based on how much cost you want to put into it, and then save that design, and then that way you can build that specific design, that kit.
Exactly, yeah.
That's fantastic. So
computers obsessed with like fighters. You can just outfit your ships with like better point defenses rather than or if you're trying to assault the space station, you could have a ship that's just designed at just lots of firepower but dreadful at taking out fighters. So you get to design your fleet based on the situation that's going on.
We have another question from YouTube. Are the maps for more than 2 factions, or is it always 1v1?
Have up to 4 CEOs on the maps. And you can have a maximum of up to 9 star systems in the game. That's
crazy, and the star systems are pretty big too, and they're all a little different, which is nice. I'm guessing there won't be stuff interacting with planets. It's entirely in space.
It was too much to add the planets in.
No, that's fair. I just wanted to ask. I mean, I see that they are there and they are very pretty, but I figured they're just there for a sense of scale, basically.
The game did go through a testing phase where it was actually one gigantic map. And the planets were actually in the map, and you walked around the system, and behind the planet was the other person's, HQ, and it did look really pretty, and it certainly had potential. But I don't know, if having the sort of smaller systems it felt more strategic and
Yeah.
more interesting. But
It really does,
it was
yeah.
some of the fans did like the idea, so maybe it's something to work on at another time.
That's fair. I mean, maybe have like maybe kind of incorporate the maps from the first game into the new one. But that sounds like a bit much. Like if you're having combat down the planet, what's going on up in space? You know, who's managing that nonsense? So
there is an idea about that I just had.
What's that?
That might be an Executron sort of thing, where as a CEO, you're still on the station or you're doing whatever you're doing. But if you've got other players, they can take on, say, a planetary battle for you, and they take on the executive role on the planetary battle.
If I get as much money as Star Citizen, I'll certainly look at that.
Yeah, I'm just saying in terms of if you want to make it happen, that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, it could. So it's could do it. It would take a lot of. It would be a lot of work and effort, but it was certainly. I don't see why it's not possible.
Alowo over on I hope I said your name right, over on YouTube, like said you land on the planet and it loads the first game.
That was it. It's already made. Why? Yeah, exactly. Why
go the elite route. Go the elite route. If you want to land on planets, you have to buy this extra thing. That is great, actually.
Well, the first one, and then load up the second one.
If you go on space, it loads up the second game. That's great. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so you're playing a campaign, and so okay, sorry, my brain is not fully in gear yet this morning. So you have a campaign, and it's going to have multiple maps with all these multiple systems. That's like a huge endeavor. Is it going to be kind of story-based, or is it going to be more like objective-based? Like, you have to get through these many systems in order to win the campaign. You know what I mean? Or is it going to have more of a story?
Yeah. It'd be like that, like I was saying, that space colony game. So you sort of work through the planets and different objectives.
Right. Okay, great. Because, that's right. That game had a really great campaign. And it was good at introducing the player to the facets of the game as you went on. I mean, it was kind of that kind of tutorial as you went thing. But that worked really well, if I recall. No, that's a really great model, is Space Colony, because that's a great game. So that is a great game. So what kind of, like... So I was noticing in the first game, to build defenses for your base, you build, like, security doors and stuff like that. Is that still present in the second game, or are there going to be, since it's a space station, are there going to be different types of defenses you can build for your base?
Well, in this one, the buildings already come pre-made with the doors and the turrets already there, because it just seemed like people were getting bogged down having to build the extra doors and extra turrets. So I was just like, look, it just comes with the doors and the turrets. So they're in there, and the bridge has its own force fields around it. Did you ever play Battlefield 2142? And you had to sort of one of their big spaceshipy things to destroy the reactor. You had to kind of take out the force field control panel. So that's what I've got in this one. So surrounding the bridge, there's like these sort of power generators for the force field, which are of course on the outside of the bridge, not on the inside. And you sort of shoot them, and as someone is picking them off, it gives the CEO a little bit of time just to try and get some extra help or try and escape or something like that. So it's so all the defenses come with the game. So it was just a bit easier that way.
So so say I'm a CEO and I've got someone boarding my thing. Can I like fight them off? Like, can I have like a running firefight to a fighter bay and then jump in a fighter and fly away? Can I do that?
You can currently you could run to the docking bay, quickly build a starfighter, board the thing, and try and get the hell out of there. or if you own a outpost somewhere, you could, and you've already researched it, you could run to your transporter room, beam over to one of your outposts, and then carry on running the your sort of empire from there.
Oh man, so you're totally mobile. So like someone might think they have you in your space station, but then you beam to an outpost, and the game continues. Oh, that is going to make for some great multiplayer fuckery. That is going to make for some fantastic. That's the kind of thing you want in multiplayer games. Yeah, the kind of thing where you can like pull a cheeky move like that and keep shit going. That is fabulous.
That is it planetary annihilation with the sort of teleporter portals? So you think you've got you can find the enemy base, you think, haha, I've got the commander now, and you quickly see him walk into a teleport, and you're like, oh crumbs, where's he beamed to now?
I sadly couldn't get into that one, Planetary Annihilation. It's something about the globe just totally like threw me. You know what I mean? Like it prevented me from clicking with it.
And it also needed some heavy spec computer for that one too.
Yeah, that's true, and it chugged a little bit on this thing of mine. So how far along is the game right now? Like it seemed like, I mean, yeah, it was clearly early access, but it already seemed like it had a lot in there. So how far along is the version I played right now? And when do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I keep interrupting.
No, it's fine. I was gonna add a follow up. Like, when do you think it'll be on Steam Early Access?
Well, it's pretty far along at the moment. Like I said, it's only got 60 technologies in there, so I definitely want to bring that up to make sort of things exciting.
Only 60. Only 60. Yeah, only 60.
So yeah, I mean that most of that's just like, I guess that's just weaponry and tech, I suppose. But I like to add more quirky and interesting technologies in there. I mean, I want to improve the hacking, and I want to improve the sensors, and things more interesting, like shields for the robots, and some really interesting weapons. Like I know transgalactic missile systems or something like that. I don't know, so like super long range artillery. I mean, just more fun things like that in the game. And but yeah, in its current state, it's pretty far along. I mean, I noticed in your video, if you'd got as far as finding the enemies, you would have found that, and you had a big fleet, you would have really seen the sort of space battles in the game. And then it's sort of once you realize how he's getting on, you think, hang on, I need to get to that sort of point too. So it sort of really spurs you along to sort of get in there, and then you really have a lot of fun, like taking control of the fighters, dodging all the space battles, and really sort of getting in there and having a lot of fun with the thing.
Yeah, even not getting to that point with this video, because I was already like 40 minutes in, and people only watch for so long, so I was like, okay, I gotta stop. But even getting to where I got was a lot of fun, because I like how it's not just the other CEOs you have to deal with. There are protesters.
Well, I thought, all right, space games always have raiders or pirates or things like that, and I'm thinking, okay, what's the sort of what do companies and corporations don't like? And I was thinking protesters.
No, I thought that was great. I thought that was like what the hell, protesters? Oh yeah, because I'm a big corporate CEO. They were protesting me taking over space.
The more goods you sell, the more of your space kittens or something you sell, the more they really don't like you, and the more they'll start attacking you. So I think when you're playing this, they're not interested. But if you sell like, I don't know, 20 of your goods, they'll be like, hang on a minute, we're going to do something about this.
Oh, that's great. And I also saw there was a trade federation or something like that. There's another faction.
They're currently there so that if you decide, the trader who docks with your space station, you sell your goods to him, and you just like, oh, okay, bye, and then you decide to blow him up, to get your goods back because he drops his cargo. The Trader Federation doesn't like you, and so they sort of like blockade. They sort of blacklist you for like 10 minutes, so that you can't trade for 10 minutes after you've blown him up. But I'm hoping to maybe do a bit more with the Traders Federation.
And there are, besides other CEOs, there are also other factions you have to deal with as well. Like there was a I wouldn't call them pirates, but it was like blood raiders or something.
Yeah, yeah. So currently there's just 3 factions in the game. They own some of the systems. So if you try and build an outpost, like a mining outpost in orbit of their planet, they're like, hang on, if you want to do that, you have to pay us, or else we'll, start attacking you. So it just adds an extra sort of dynamic to the game. One of the factions is an entire planet full of crazy cat ladies and people. So they're quite friendly. They're very friendly, then, but don't get on their bad side.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't know if I want to know what happens if you get on their bad side. Please don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised.
No, I won't tell you. But do find them, because I recently got an artist to do the picture. Their faction photo, and he did an amazing job on the picture. So do find them. The picture's great.
Oh,
looking forward to that.
Totally looking, because we all love we love cats here at Space Game Junkie. We love cats. So yeah, totally looking forward to that. Oh my god!
I'm hoping to add more factions to the game, and maybe even, I don't know, people really want like something to go in the workshop. So I'm trying to think of things to go in the workshop. So maybe even a faction creator or something like that.
Ooh,
so people can make their own.
faction creator would be fun. Maybe like ship design. Like, so say ship designs would be good, because some people don't want to tweak in a bit, play around in a builder. They just want to build and go. So maybe let people save their ship designs. Like, this is an anti-fighter ship, and put that in the workshop. So if someone wants to be able to build that,
Speaking of customization, what about painting them?
Ooh.
Like the custom textures.
Yeah, custom. Well, yeah, not necessarily just custom textures, but maybe you want to put a different skin on it. So you have a custom skin for your company.
Yeah, that's doable. Yeah, that's definitely doable. I do need things to go in there, because people were complaining in the first game there was no nothing in the workshop. There was no customization. So
Right.
Concern. Well, there was customization in terms of the logo and the company name, but people wanted to sort of put more sort of interesting things in there. So. No, definitely, yeah, I could do that. I mean, your company logo will eventually be on the starships, and you can also name your starships too. So I think I saw, as of course, someone was bound to put like Boaty McBoatface on the starship or something.
Yes. That's one of my favorite things the internet has ever done is name that boat Boaty McBoatface. I mean, yes, there's a lot of toxicity.
Of course,
there's a lot of toxicity on the internet, and then you got Boaty McBoatface. It's like, the world's gonna be all right. We're gonna be okay because we have Boaty McBoatface. We're gonna be all right as a species.
Come and save us all. Come and save us all.
I think we'll take care of each other and be okay. Oh my god! So I didn't know you could name your starships too.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I want people to really feel proud of their spaceship, because as it attacks more, it gains more experience. And you basically, if you're there and you're seeing your big ship catching fire, you're like, oh no, quickly, someone save the Boaty McBoatface. So you suddenly get back to your starship and it explodes, and you're like, no.
Oh, so I didn't know ships could gain experience as well, even like fighters and stuff, like they can all gain experience and stuff.
Just the starships.
Oh, that's fair, because they have crews, so that makes sense. You can't have though at one point you should get here's the thing, maybe if a fighter kills enough fighters, they become like a named ace, what was that Battlestar Galactica episode with Scar, and everyone was like, ooh, Scar, so maybe have something like that where you have a named ace and all the other fighters are like, ah.
You can see him flying along like a little star above his head.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to give you more stuff to do, though I am. But that would be. I mean, there's already so much in there. But again, that's the thing. There's already so much in here, but you've made it so, impressively streamlined. I really have to say, it's just such an impressive thing.
Well, I certainly look forward to what ideas people come up with early access. I mean, that was one of the ideas of putting it in early access, and so that I can put things like that in there, like the repair bots idea, and the and that sort of thing. So Um,
Yeah, and yeah, I'm sure people will just dive all over this in early access. Do you have any idea when it's going to be available in early access?
the 18th of October.
Oh, really? That soon? So I didn't know that. So, folks, you got about a month, a little less than a month, like 3 weeks actually, and this will be available. Are you looking at a similar price point to the first game, or a little? I would not. I would expect this to be a little more, since there seems to be a lot
Yeah.
more going on. So I
So
would.
it's going to be
Good.
£23.99. That is. I don't know what that is in dollars.
No
It's
idea.
but it's going to be, see, when the game finally comes out, it's going to be £19.99. But I'm making it a bit more expensive for early access, for mainly for just controlling numbers and bug reports, because I found it worked out really well in the first game to have a more expensive early access than the actual release, just because it just gets really
Oh, interesting.
it just, like, people will like look at it and thought, "Oh, that looks really good. Do I want to help out, or will I wait until it comes out on, finally release?" So, and I just found it helped with the calling all the bug reports, because I'm still just one person, and I don't want to be inundated with like 10,000 bug reports or something like that, because so many people. So, and it works quite well, that sort of payment method, going cheaper for the final release. So.
No, that you don't see that very often. Usually, it's the other way around. But
I
but
mean,
it
if you
makes
look, Planetary Annihilation went a bit too far, and I think there's
yeah
early access was like £89 or something.
yeah. Well, that's because they didn't want to piss off their Kickstarter backers.
Oh, I
So
see.
so yeah, they put it at the same price, which I don't know if that worked out well for them or not. I don't think it did.
Well, they were going to make that other game, weren't they? The Human Resources or something. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It's good. They formed another company now. Like the people behind that game formed like their own company, and like they're going to do their own thing now. So sorry, but so yeah, it sounds like this is coming out soon. It's we oh god, it's almost time to wrap up because I got to get to work. Um, so folks, just to wrap up. The game is Executive Assault 2. It is coming to early access 18th of October. So about 3 weeks from now.
So keep an eye out for that.
Keep an eye out for that. Wishlist it. Is there a Steam page for it already? I don't know if I saw one.
it's not yet. I'm waiting for Steam to sort of make it live. So we're just going through the sort of Steam process at the moment, just to get it up there. So.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make sure to post it when
yeah.
to our new games channel so people can wishlist it as soon as
Sure.
it comes.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely get the word out once the Steam page is live, so folks can wishlist it. So, folks, Executive Assault 2. It looks like it's gonna be the bee's knees. It's gonna have everything you'd expect from a sack full of kittens and more. I don't know why I just said that, but it's gonna have a lot. It's gonna have a ton of stuff. It's single and multiplayer campaigns, multiplayer maps. It's just from the early version I played. It's already an impressive damn thing. There's a video up on the channel if you haven't seen it already. Go watch it. You can see just how much is in this game. It basically gives you everything you want. You want to fly a space fighter? You can do that. You want to fly a Corvette? You can do that. You want to run around your space station and shoot other robots? You can do that. It's just an impressive thing. It's like when you see this is just being done in Unity, it's like, yeah, why don't more people make stuff like this? And again, it's a question of time and effort. But man, you have put the time and effort into this, and I really hope it pays dividends, because this is just really great. Just really, really great. So, folks, just a couple of quick programming notes before we wrap up. Thursday, for our LAN party, we are returning to EDF. Earth Defense Force 4.1, Shadow of the New Despair. Very, very excited. It's been a while since we played. It's been about 2 months. And
Yep.
can't freaking wait for that. Is it still on sale, or was that last week? Was it on sale last week, or is it on sale this week?
Well, let me check.
because I know it was on sale recently, but I think it might have been last week. And for the show next week, we are going to welcome back, you know him, you love him, the wonderful Derek Smart is going to be joining us next week to mostly talk about the new big changes in Universal Combat. But who knows what else we'll talk about? It's Derek Smart. I mean, we're going to probably talk about a lot of things. So that'll
Just
be...
as a quick note, EDF is not on sale.
Must have been last week. It must have been last week. Damn. If you didn't get it last week, it'll be on sale again, I'm sure. But it's worth full price. But if you can get it on sale, it's usually a pretty deep cut. It goes from what, like 50 to 15 on sale. Yeah. It's usually like $14.99 on sale. But yeah. So anyway, sorry, my brain is totally flitzing. Robert, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. Your game already looks really freaking great. And I cannot wait to play more of it, especially once more people get copies so we can do some multiplayer, because we will definitely be doing some multiplayer.
We need it on the calendar.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Once that comes out and more people have copies, we're definitely putting it on the calendar.
Okay.
Because we have a regular Thursday night stream of multiplayer games, and so this will definitely be going on the calendar once this is up. But folks, I want to thank you so much for watching and listening. Again, if you haven't checked it out, there is a preview video of Executive Assault 2 on the YouTube channel. Go check it out. Keep an eye out for the Steam page for early access to be hitting hopefully soon, so you can wishlist it. And we will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.